commentary today with my good friend El Rock. El Rock, how you doing this morning?
Woo! Doing good, Ant. Doing good. It's actually afternoon for me. It's 1 p.m. on my side of the states. But yeah, I'm doing great. To watch one of my favorite NES speedruns today, and I get to watch a lot of them, so that's going to be sweet.
Yeah, this is a good run. This is a great starting run if you are just getting into speedrunning. There's not a lot of serious tech needed until you start going for super competitive times, but it is a lot of interesting and easy to learn basic speed tech.
Agreed. It's a very good entry-level NES speedrun for sure. Once you learn Moonskip, you can speedrun this game, and it's not even that hard. If you want to do the easy setup, it's a very, very easy run to learn.
Yeah, it's one of the first ones I learned way back when I still did speedrunning on a regular basis. We got 9 competitors today. Yeah, seriously.
We've got a solid rundown of competitors. Herexon being our top time holder. He is currently 5th overall with a 710.
We got Spirial. He's also a very good runner of this game. Very good NES speedrunner in general. And
he and Herexon are both quite excellent at just NES overall for sure.
Yeah, but we have a lot of really talented speedrunners here today with Joseph Tobin Jr., Angel Undead, Jack Pro, The Terrific Tracy, Sideswipe 009, NeoCAD 99, and JKL 87. Good list of competitors today, so it should be a interesting series of races. We're doing this in knockout format. So for those who are unfamiliar, knockout meaning every round we will have one elimination, and the player with the slowest time will be knocked out of the tournament. So it could be anyone's game depending on RNG in this wild duck game. Not as bad as the second one, but still got some funky stuff in it.
See who's got the fastest duck blur. I personally love the knockout format. It very much favors the grind. Like people who are just runners who are willing to put in hours and hours and hours and trying to improve their PB, and over the course of those runs, even if they had great things occur during runs that inevitably would have died, say Bad Magica RNG, for example, those who would continually pump out anywhere from 30 to 40 attempts a day, this is the event for them.
Absolutely. And it's also an event where knowing backup strats is really important, because if things don't go perfect, you gotta execute quickly.
Yeah.
Especially in a game as short as this, a couple seconds can make the difference between all our runners.
Yeah, and there's some heartbreaker strats in this game too. Heliskip probably the most noteworthy. It saves a lot of time. You can pull it off, but failure means you just die, so you lose a lot of time for that. So it's going to be interesting to see how many of our runners actually go for it and are feeling comfortable enough with actually doing it.
I would not be.
I've never done it myself either. I'm not a top tier runner of this game. I enjoy the run very, very much, but yeah, Heliskip is just not something I ever associated myself with. I'm I'm bad. I can live with that.
I've done it a few times, but it is not consistent enough for me to try to execute during any kind of race, especially a knockout tournament.
It's very tough. For those unfamiliar with it, it occurs in the Amazon stage, and it's, I think, 2 very tiny back-to-back frame windows. I don't know exactly how big they are, but you gotta bounce at the right time, then you gotta fall off the rope at the right time. It's as I mentioned before about these kind of tournaments favoring the grind, that particular strat favors a lot of practice.
Yeah, that is...
If you miss the fast one, then go for the slowest one. The slow one, rather.
Yeah.
With good execution top to bottom, I think from there it's just going to come down to boss fights. Some of them are pretty much all execution. I believe the Sentinel, the Snowman, Abominable Snowman, whatever I call him, the Yeti, and the Slug are all pretty much execution, but the rat is for the moon stage is very much a heavy reset point because if he decides to jump ever, you basically have a rough time with that, and you're gonna lose a decent amount of time. Not a huge amount, but it can be enough for it to matter. And then of course there's the ever-present Magica, who she's RNG in a bucket. She can cost the player 20 seconds if she wants to.
Yeah, and then
that's where all the excitement's gonna come in, and then Duckula too. Sorry, Count.
Yeah.
What is his name? Count Duck, Dracula Duck. I keep wanting to call him Duckula, but that was actually a TV show.
Not Duckula. We will get sued if we call him Duckula.
True that.
We're already gonna get sued for using the moon theme, so we're in all sorts of trouble tonight.
Yeah, go ahead and say hi to YouTube, everybody, because that's where this is going, and that's the only place it's gonna last. It's like our tech crew, shout out to our tech crew, by the way, is getting the last of our runners set up, so we'll be able to get started here before too long. In the meantime, hope everyone's enjoying the music. The DuckTales soundtrack is legendary. I personally feel for a game with less than 10 stage tracks, it might be the best soundtrack on the console. But that's just my opinion.
It is up there. It's one of those games, much like Mega Man. I mean, pretty much anything Capcom laid their hands on.
Oh yeah.
You know, just not a bad track on the entire OST.
It was always amazing to me how they were able to like dedicate themselves to the flavor of a game because they actually wanted to make it worthwhile. Same thing with Chip and Dale, same thing with Little Mermaid, and the list goes on. Tailspin even. Great stuff, all in all. You know, it's a shame we couldn't have that crown as like a separate gift to put on the head of the person who wins. Slot it over their avatar or whatever. Looking at the crown on Scrooge on the right.
Next turn that on.
Get our team on it. We actually, I believe, had a Chip and Dale knockout tournament, did we not? I believe it was, if it wasn't last year, it was the year before, but we've definitely done it in the past. We've had at least 2 tournaments for it that were not knockout.
Yeah. We did one that was not knockout, and then we did one that was knockout.
Yeah.
And it was both times. That's another game that lends itself really well to the knockout format. Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, yeah. I think there's less RNG in Chip and Dale than a DuckTales, so that one's a lot more execution heavy. But yeah, it's a great run to watch, just because Chip and Dale is just so punishing for small mistakes, and you know it really favors skill. But yeah, they've happened in the past, and I would wager that one of the VODs for it is probably on our YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe to that. Great run nonetheless, and we might do another one in the future. It's a good one to come back to for sure.
And of course, if you want to see a particular game in any kind of format, reach out to either myself or Virus. Virus is the head of the one-night-only tournaments now here at RGL. But you can reach out to me and I'll let him know, or reach out directly to Virus. Huge thanks to Virus for being our tech crew today.
Yeah.
I keep saying tonight. I'm always like in tonight mindset.
I'm not awake at 10 a.m. either, so which is saying something for someone who's awake at 5 days a week. So I feel you on that, believe me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna push for the Renegade Knockout tournament myself. Surely a lot of people will participate in that. Admit it, that would be a good one. For a knockout tournament, that game would be wild. Plus, it's short; anybody can learn it.
That would be so fast and so insane.
Yeah, lots of heartbreak for that one, but it would be pretty glorious. I'd push for it. It has enough good runners, and it has a good following with our team and our audience. So, all right, looks like we're getting
first, folks. El Rock is joining the Renegade Knockout tournament.
If I get to play the arcade version and get knocked out first round, sure, absolutely. That version's fun. It's also one that doesn't punish you too bad for messing up, whereas Renegade NES, yeah. So I'm guessing that The weird thing about DuckTales in terms of like when time actually starts is that the actual game doesn't begin until you have control of your character, but I believe for the purpose of racing, I think it has to start on selecting the moon, just because it'd just be way too difficult to track something like that. It's only about a second difference, so adding a second onto your run, it's like 0.92 seconds, I think. Like it'll work out. But yeah, just a little tidbit for those unaware who want to get started in this game. The large majority of the NES library for speedrunning is first control of character. DuckTales is set apart for that.
The DuckTales theme causes some problems on Twitch, so had to change the starting point on the game a few times.
Noise. I've
like
always
appreciated.
Yeah, even from a gameplay standpoint, I've always appreciated this game from pretty much every respect in terms of like what Capcom was going for around this time. Like it very much has a Mega Man element. You can go to the primary stages in whatever order you wish, which I always thought was really cool. And even better for the speed run, you have to do literal zero menuing whenever you play it, because you just start from the moon and then you just work your way down from there. And I gotta believe that's by design, because you can't go to the African mines before Transylvania anyway, and da-da-da-da-da. So, just cool little things. For those unfamiliar with the game in general, the primary form of offense is Scrooge's Pogo, which in this game he only gets some use out of on the ground. But a lot of the aerial movement you're going to see is just pogo, 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 pogo. And you can use it to bounce off enemies and kill them, a la Mario bouncing off a Goomba. It propels your jump. Ooh, nice hit move skip there for some of these players. Jack Crow gets it first try. Rexon takes a hit, so he takes the easy way in. Oh, Joseph hit that death. That could not be an intentional death. I don't know. I've never seen a death actually happen there, so that's a rough start. Spirial making his way to the boss as well.
I'm pretty sure none of the deaths will be intentional. I don't think we have any tech that involves deaths in this game. I'm sure the game's changed quite a bit since I ran it, but death is very costly in this game.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've run it as well, and if a death abuse strat came in, I would be very, very shocked, because you lose a lot of time. This game is very rich in checkpoints, so yeah, taking it, like Ant said, taking a death is just too much. That said, depending on how the 5th through 9th racers are faring right now, Joseph still has a chance to stay in after this round, whereas Rexon, Spirial, and Jack Crow all making their way through Amazon. Amazon's
is a tough
still
game.
For sure, sure. At this level, it very much is.
Yeah, when you're playing and oh, nice, Jack Pro getting that.
Didn't hell skip.
The heli skip. Yes, thank you. Sorry, I got distracted by that little message from Twitch. So most of our users are on the RTMP, but some of them are using their Twitch, and of
this
course,
happens sometimes.
Yeah, so
shoutouts to our runners. This is actually one of my favorite stages in the run. It has so many cool little optimizations. Like the B pogo off the ladder only saves like 0.2 seconds, but I've never done it myself, but I understand it's like fairly easy with enough practice, and there's no reason not to do it once you practice it enough. Jack Pro finishing off the Sentinel. Spirial having his way through that as well. Then we got Tracy coming in on the fight. Sentinel's such a strange fight. I've never optimized it myself, but I believe that with proper movement, you shouldn't have any difficulty with him attacking you, because he attacks at what seem like random intervals, but I believe he attacks based on distance from you. Oh, and Tracy takes a death on Sentinel there. That was unfortunate. Ouch. Spirial and Jack Pro making their way through Transylvania. Another great speedrun stage. Just the little, like, the pogo optimizations to bounce up to the mirrors is really neat. And of course the ghost manip. Like when you're approaching the ghost, you actually have to turn back a little bit to get them to not chase you and hit you. Alright,
here's that
Jack
Magica fight.
Yep, so here's the deal with Magica. At the start of any given fight or any given cycle, Magica, actually Jack Pro had a very good Magica fight there, got mid, low. Really great
Nice.
RNG there. See, I'll explain after I'm gonna check out how Spiriel's doing here. Got a low pattern, that's good. I think mid is the best pattern to hit consistently because she tends to not come down that quickly from being mid, whereas low, like she could just make one small flight cycle and come in. So anyway, about the Magica fight. At the start of any given round or any given cycle, Magica, when she appears, will turn into a bird and take one of 3 flight patterns. She either goes high, she goes mid, or she goes low. Low and mid. Oh, and Joseph getting the high pattern to start. Oh, she landed immediately, so didn't lose that much time. Got hit with a bolt, though, and took that. And another high pattern. Yeah, Joseph's definitely hoping for better luck after this this particular run. She stayed up there, too. So the deal is when 3 high patterns? Welcome to knockout tournaments. So when Magica goes high, she's incredibly hard to hit. It is possible to hit her, but the pixel window in which you're able to actually touch her is not very big. I think you have to catch her at her lowest sprite count, or lowest sprite setting, and be able to hit her from there, and it's incredibly hard to do, and it's also not consistent. So you're always hoping for low and mid, but as mentioned, the patterns she takes are completely random. You have no control over what she does. You just gotta play and hope for the best. So someone like Joseph there getting 3 high flight patterns in a row, not optimal at all, but it happens. That's just how this game turns out. All right, so Sideswipe having a really good slug fight here. Jack Pro finishes off the slug, now working his way through the Himalayas. The Himalayas, I believe, is one of the only stages that has a more optimized strat in the past, like a couple years ago, and that's what's called Snow Pogo. It's a frame-perfect trick where you can actually bounce off the snow into the boss. I don't recall how much time it saves, but being that it's frame-perfect, it's probably... It might be something you see today, it might not be. Normally, when you try to pogo onto snow, you get caught in the snow, like Scrooge actually gets stuck in the ground. But if you do the pogo input at precisely the frame in which Scrooge would land on the ground, he gets to bounce instead, like it's not snow. Saves a little bit of time, but it's really hard. Almost, man, great execution there from Jack Pro. Got the first 3 hits, taking the damage boost, good stuff. Yeah, perfect fight there from Jack Pro. Oh no, he got stuck in the snow and going for the treasure chest.
No.
The humanity. So rough. Probably didn't lose too much time, maybe like quarter of a second or so. Ooh,
Yeah,
Sideswipe
not
taking
for less.
Sideswipe taking the safety health there. I actually forgot there was a cake on that next to last platform. Sideswipe here having only a slightly rougher time with the fight, but it looks like he was able to clear it.
The rare double Twitch sighting.
They're gonna start multiplying for too long. Just making sure everybody's aware. Alright, so the only player we can see right now heading on to Dracula Duck's castle is gonna be Sideswipe. Unfortunately, we don't get to see a whole terrible amount of it just because the stream's buffering a bit. But Angel Undead looks like just finished off Dracula Duck there. Now he has to beat Magica to the top of the rope to finish the game. And pop right on in. Good run there from Angel Undead. Curious to see what the standings are going to be like here. And JKL looking to close his out here too momentarily. So that's why approaching the Dracula fight.
Really close finish for 5th place there, within about half a second difference. So just to point out how fast this race is going to be and how every second does count. We had that half-second difference between 4th and 5th place, so just...
Yeah, which, for 4th and 5th, I recall that not mattering a huge deal. You really just don't want to come in last, especially for today's tournament. Like, this tournament particularly is going to be 8 rounds of DuckTales, with 1 player getting knocked out each round. There's the top Joseph looking to finish it off, grab the chest, and that's game. Sideswipe coming in with a finish as well. Tracy on to the Dracula Duck fight.
Oh no. We had a major upset here.
Do tell.
Hyrexen, who is our top PB of the DuckTales, uh, had to forfeit. They
Oh, bummer.
unfortunately. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's really tragic. For I believe from this morning, Herexen, who is a original hardware runner, had some difficulty with his CRT, and without a working CRT, you really just can't run this game in original hardware in most cases. So, really unfortunate for Herexen. Now, granted, that could be not the reason why he ran into some difficulty and had to forfeit, but they would be my best guess for sure. So, really unfortunate end for Herexen to start the day. So looks like our Spirial's their favorite rest day going forward with his 7:13 PB, which is an excellent time.
Hyrexen game over twice on Amazon, so just goes to show anything can happen, and especially when you're
and there's that too.
Having some tough runs.
Yeah, that's another one I can knock it out too. So apparently I was just blowing smoke. Oh, saw Tracy trying to go for that hella skip. Oh, got the B bounce instead. That's good stuff.
I think Tracy's just practicing the race is over.
I still like the B bounce though. It's a good backup strat.
Good B bounce strat, yeah.
Backup strat in case you met the hella skip. So great first round. Unfortunate about Herexen, but still a really competitive race. We had some heartbreak. Joseph ended up taking a death while going for moon skip in first stage, but still managed to finish with a pretty solid time. Go check our race room. Shout out to our race bot. Easily the best bot out there. All right, getting our players all ready for round 2. It's a duck blur. So we got here. No. Right. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to find Anhol's PB in that game, and I was unsuccessful. I was curious.
Don't think I ever submitted a time.
There's definitely not one on speedrun.com, but, you know, speedrun.com isn't everything. As we all know. Yes, for those interested in submitting any NES games for future tournaments, by all means, please join our events Discord as you see there in our chat window. Great community there who can pass off ideas, and any idea you presented will always be considered, even if it's not accepted. We always love hearing out new things. I don't even remember how the DuckTales tournament came along. I think Virus said one day, I think I want to do a DuckTales Kono, and it was immediately just like, all right, we're doing it. There was no consideration. It was like, yeah, let's go. Seems good enough. It's short.
Yeah. Pretty much any short game is going to work out for a knockout.
Yeah, sub 10 games that have a lot of runners, you probably have a good chance. You're gonna go sub 5 in the future. The aforementioned Renegade. There's also Super Mario Brothers. Maze, that one hasn't happened yet. Oh yeah, I forgot we had the Ghoul School Kono too. That game is so good. I love when we get to showcase that game just to be able to show it to people that have never seen it, because I never saw that game as a kid. And now it's like one of my favorite NES speedruns. Tournament nerves happen. The way I look at it, the more you play, the faster the nerves go away. So there's our breakdown of times. Spirial being able to finish with a 7:30. Excellent race time for sure. all the way up to Neocad's 8:45. So about a minute 15 spread. As I mentioned, there was some heartbreak, but everybody here is still in the tournament, so they've still got plenty of time to strut their stuff. Could have someone in the bottom two finish in the top two this time. We won't know.
That's the thing about all our one night only tournaments. Anything could happen. You just gotta play your best. And
Oh, yeah.
Erickson, an amazing runner, said that he hadn't played in 6 months, so that does make a lot of a difference. But
Oh, yeah.
every single one of these runners is amazing. You should follow them, and we hope Hyrexon comes back and joins us in the future for other knockout tournaments, because we like having them on the stream.
Oh, and speaking of ducktail runners, shout outs to the amazing Indy Swee, who wished us the best in the tournament today. He's on vacation this week, so he wasn't able to participate, but he's been the best runner of this game for the past 5 years or so, so he would have put up a heck of a showing during tournament time. And he is highly competitive, so perhaps if we do a sequel, and I can't imagine a world where we don't do another DuckTales co-note. Great game, people like it, it's Disney.
Maybe we'll get the next one actually sponsored by Disney. Who knows?
Oh yeah, let's reach out for that. It's like, wait, people still watch 80s DuckTales? Like, guys, it's on Disney Plus. What are you talking about? Watch the whole series right now.
Looks like we're getting the next race.
Speaking of top runners of this game, and we had the one and only Garretus21 in our chat, one-time world record holder of this game. Another amazing NES speedrunner. Hope you're doing well on your side of the world, Garretus. All the way from Italy. Alright, looks like our runners are underway. Got JKL.
Go.
Yeah, now, I mean, the thing I love about these more than anything is the fact that, like, with so many, with the fact that every round still features, like, even though you're playing against less runners, you're playing against people who did really, really well and are on your level. That's unfortunate. Missed the Roboduck spawn. The more people play this game throughout the day, and regarding what I said about the grind, from the start of every next round, everybody's ready to go. Like, it's like, all right, we're doing it. We're holding down B. We're going right. We're just in there. We're not here to make mistakes. And I personally love this game for that, because it's a great game to be able to be like, okay, I'm here to just progress, and things are going to work out for me because I'm playing this game. Good finishes there from Jack Pro and JKL on our buddy the Mouse. Spirial having a time with the rat himself. A lot of jumps. Good finish. Looks like we're gonna get Sideswipe moved up into here. So he just finished off the rat himself. Jack Pro, JKL having the... Now, just remember, just because these runners... Oh, nice damage boost there. Just because these runners may be showcasing that they're later in the game than another given runner, that doesn't mean they're ahead in time. It's just however they get captured. Comes down to the tech from there. That said... Oh, fortunate miss on the bridge there from JKL. That's always not fun to have happen. Didn't go for the 8 boost there. Interesting. Figured that was like a more or less a gimme strap. Oh, JKL took the hit from the rock there. Gonna have minimal health for Sentinel here. Had to take the slow chest. Jack Pro popping on in. That first hit on Sentinel is always so crucial. Like the fastest hit means you have to like do like a really high jump right into his sprite to be able to get the hit properly. Jack Pro having a good fight there. Even taking the hit wasn't that big of a deal. He didn't have to miss any hit cycles because of it. JKL finishing off the Sentinel himself. Gets the perfect chest pop. It's when you hit the chest and you don't actually bounce off of it. Just stops it midair. Right through Transylvania. quick thing about Transylvania. I forget which year it was. I want to say it was 2018, but at AGDQ 2018, I remember I was in the practice room hanging out with some of my RGL teammates, just playing this game just because I felt like it, and I was having like actually a really good run, but then somehow I missed Webby Skip, which the meme is that in DuckTales 1, Webby Skip is very easy because it is. So I missed it, and RGL Zone and Enemy TV did not let that go unpunished. I got so many harsh words from him. It's like, how do you miss Webby Skip in DuckTales 1? One of my favorite memories of this game. Shout out to Enemy TV.
Yeah. And shoutouts to shoutouts. Let's hear a shoutout.
Oh, always shoutouts to shoutouts. That's a given.
And that was
nice magical fight there from JKL as well as I missed who it was there. I think it was Spirial. Fight there. Seeing a lot of good magic RNG this round. And of course I say that in commentator's curse. Joseph's final cycle goes high. But he actually managed to get the hit almost right away. Got that super high pogo there. I'll watch JKL's feed here for a moment. I'm curious how the pogo strat's gonna work there. I went for the easy one, okay. There's some more difficult strats that can be involved in getting the key to be able to work your way through the mines. I've never quite learned it myself, but I know it has something to do with pogoing from the floor into the mirror that warps you to the room with the key. Saves a little bit of time. I just never properly learned it, but it's always cool to watch. That's why I'm still having a little bit of frame buffering issues. JKL working his way to the slug. The slug is an interesting fight in terms of optimization. I forget exactly what kind of time save it's supposed to provide, but I know it has something to do with like, like sprite duration or what. But you basically have to hit him right as he's going into roll animation. You can hit him while he's standing there bouncing in place, but it'll end up costing you more time overall.
Yeah, not a ton, but it does, especially when going for those top times, every frame counts.
Absolutely. And if you practice it enough, going for it each time is generally worth it. The downside is if you miss, you take a hit, you don't get to hit him until after the cycle is complete. For those unaware in this game, when you take a hit, you go into flashing animation, which does give you iframes. However, the downside is that while you're in that state, your character's hitbox is no longer active, so you can't pogo on anything for I think it's anywhere from half a second to a second or so. And that can definitely cost time. But I think overall, getting the 5 perfect hits on the slug is about, I think it saves I want to say half a second overall. It's still worth doing with enough practice. Joseph working his way up to our Himalayas boss, the Yeti. Always interesting to see what patterns players go with when they ride the platform. On that platform, you can actually hold right the entire time, and you won't fall. Which, for Mega Man players out there, seems absurd. It's like, why would you not fall if you're trying to walk off a platform? But now the Scrooge is pixel for pixel as fast as the platform itself, so it just keeps you there. No danger whatsoever. You just had to jump over those other platforms to get in the way. Oh, I love the standing slide into the boss fight. Good stuff. Oof. Well, that hit didn't matter too much, I don't think. Actually, yeah, it cost him half a cycle. So unfortunate for NeoCad there, but still a good finish. Yeah, I guess I forgot about item 2. My bad. And Spiral and NeoCad both showing their return to Transylvania for the finale. Fortunate miss there from Spiral, but still cooking pretty well. Angel Undead onto the Dracula Duck fight. I don't believe I talked about the Dracula Duck fight before, but so here's how it works. The points in which Dracula Duck will appear, at least the positions where he spawns, are random. He can appear in one of 4 different places. However, with proper placement in the room, you can essentially what you can do is from let's say 1 through 4 is where he appears. If you stay right underneath where point 2 would be, where he can spawn, you can attack him right away from any of those positions except for position 4. So you have a 75% chance, with good execution, of course, of being able to just attack him right away. Now, if he's all the way on the right on 4, then you gotta adjust. Wait for the bat to show up, and from there, you're just working around his iframes. Good finish there. And NeoCAD looking to close out here. Tracy just finishing up Himalayas, so Tracy may be a bit behind there. Joseph with a finish. Nice job. Sideswipe getting ready to climb the rope. And GG's to all of our runners, and that's throughout the course of the day. I won't be able to say that enough for sure. Snag the chest. Good run from Sideswipe. Nice finish. Or Huey and Louie having to get their words of validation in. Like, hey, we helped. And they did. They told me I had to get a key to get in the thing with a lock. Super awful. Alright, Tracy, I don't quite know what the position is for the rest, but judging by the fact that it's just showing solo right now, I'm going to guess that Tracy is unfortunately going to come in last, but looking to finish out with this Dracula Duck fight here, nonetheless. Perhaps I'm wrong about that. I will eat crow if I am. So
Do not eat birds during the DuckTales knockout. What is wrong with you?
Hey now. No animals were harmed here. Thankfully, I had bacon on my pizza today and not chicken, so yeah. I did my part. Up we go. Race gonna finish off. Nice run.
GG to all our runners. Tracy will be leaving us this round. Finish last, but we do appreciate you coming. Of course, give a follow to Hyrexen and the Terrific Tracy. They deserve, I can speak English, all the love. And you can see here, Jack Pro moved up 2 spots, took first place this time.
And the bigger leap was from Joseph, who in the first round had that unfortunate death on the moon while attempting moon skip, and now jumped a big 4 places. I believe he had an 8-something from the previous round, and now coming in with a 7:33, which I think ties the second place time from the first round. So really big showing there from Joseph. Great stuff. Spirial dropping down to a 7:41 from his 7:30 in the first round, but it's definitely still in. Spirial, very strong runner in this game, and currently the best PB of our remaining runners. So he's put his time into this game for sure.
Races are getting ready for the next one.
We will. Now down to the lucky 7.
Lucky 7.
Yep, down from 9 lives to the Elite 8. Now the lucky 7.
When is the X-Men arcade one night only knockout tournament?
I'd host that tomorrow if I could. Man, first of all, you gotta get enough runners for that game, which there are definitely not. Yeah, that game's also so spread out. The thing I'm such a broken record about this, but I tell people all the time, it's like, y'all know there are like 9 different versions of this game, right? And that makes complete sense from a gameplay standpoint. Because why have one version of a game when you can have like almost double digits, and they all play differently? Yeah, that'd be fun. That would be fun to try to organize. Like, which version are you playing? It's like the one I told you about at the start of the never mind. Cha. Still not a bad run. Sometimes you want to do any percent, you just play Colossus and scream at people a lot, and that's always fun to do. Anyway, it's like we're moving on. And also, looks like all of our runners have a PB for today of sub 8, which is awesome. Wasn't the case after the first round, but anyone who had an 8 who's still in from the first round now has a sub 8. So good competition going there for sure. In fact, NeoCAD this round started out this round, but with his PB of 756, only came in 1 second behind his own PB, which is 755. Gee, I wonder if Jack Pro is practicing heliskip. Merely a guess.
It's been a little rough to our runners today, so wouldn't surprise me.
Nice. It's a beating of a strat. Like it reminds me of the game you're more familiar with. It reminds me of TMNT NES, the fire jump. Most runners of that game will tell you that strat's not difficult, and with enough practice, it's probably not. But it's also one of those strats that you just absolutely cannot miss if you're going to go for it, because it kills the run. Like, boom, character dead, reset. That would actually be a good. That would actually be a good tournament to have as well. It'd be TMNT.
Yeah.
Whether tournament or knockout, not sure. Maybe a little long for a knockout. It's about a 15 to 20 minute game. 16
I think that's perfect for a knockout, so we can have more or less rounds.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. I guess I was thinking with today, with most of the knockouts we've had being so short, you know, I mean, I think the longest one we had was probably Ninja Gaiden, and that's like an 11-minute game at its peak. Even though most of the times that they were 12, so it's a 12-minute game. Whereas our shortest,
we have Jack Pro. Unfortunately, their computer blue screened or froze.
Oh no!
We'll see if our runners are willing to have this be mulligan.
That's the worst. Middle of a tournament. Just remember, technology is a thing. Computers do things. Internet connections do things. They are the ultimate final boss. At the end of any given day. Well, as we continue to watch the Amazon action here, in fact, Angel Undead already working his way to playing through Transylvania. Having a pretty decent Magica fight too. Of course, commentator's curse again gets Magica at the very top. This is all for those that have never run a turn before. This is also like it's never a good time for that to happen, but it's also like actually one of the most awkward times for something like that to occur, where it comes down to like what the players want to do and how they want to decide to go about things, because nobody's really going to be paying attention to questions like that. They're all playing their game and trying to play it well. We've all been there, though. JKL seems frozen. He's probably not. He's either on his way out of Amazon now or pretty close to it. Imperial making his way to the Sentinel fight. Nice. Some nice use of iframes there. That was stellar. As I was mentioning earlier, when a boss is flashing like that, they also have iframes, but you can actually abuse that, because while they're in iframes, they generally don't have an active hitbox, so they can't touch you. So what you can do is, like, for Sentinel, for example, you can have him, like, move his way through you. Pogo while he's moving. And be able to get a hit that way. Unfortunate miss of the chest there from Angel Undead. Good furniture. We've all been there. Ooh. Not proper reference use there, so Angel Undead probably lost about half a second on that fight. Imperial will be working way to magic now. Ooh, yeah, that was not a good hit to take. Lost a portion of the second there. Ooh, so that's why I'm taking 2 hits. And gets high pattern. Way to rub it in. Oh, Magica. You're the worst. This Sideswipe cannot be liking this. Missed some iframes abuse, and then he got 2 high patterns almost back to back. Rough beats. Spirial getting ready to work his way back to the mines. I've never seen the just weird aside. I've never seen the inverted sound icon there. I've never seen it go in that direction. Must be a nice little virus touch. Love the duck pogos across the chasm in the mines. It's legit one of my favorite things to do in the game. It's super easy to do, and it's just so much fun to watch. Bounce off the slugs. Onto the king slug. It's one of those cases where I almost like want to go back and rewatch through DuckTales, because outside of like Magica Dispel, I don't think I remember any of these boss characters, and I don't doubt that they existed. I'm sure they did, but that doesn't mean that I ever got the chance to see them.
In the original show, you mean?
Yeah, like I know I've never ever seen like the Slug King, or maybe Dracula Duck, but like the Yeti or the Rat, like I'm in the dark about those. Oh, so that's why I'm taking a hit on the first cycle of Slug. Unfortunate.
I mean, the Rat runs the company that DuckTales is owned by, so...
That's a very valid point. See, this is why you and I are friends, and you can point out the stuff that I clearly miss for reasons that I'll never understand.
I know the Slug King was definitely in one episode. I'm not sure about the Yeti. That's the only one. Or the Sentinel.
The Sentinel, yeah, Sentinel's not even really a character. It's just probably a thing that came to life. It's like, oh no, the tomb is cursed. What do we do? But it's just stuff Scrooge does. Like, even in his 90s, he's still like going out and doing adventures. That's why he was always so cool. Does it the top hat too? How many people can walk around with a cane and a top hat and just be this badass? Come on. Nice finish on the Himalayas there from Spiriel. Spiriel looking to make a showing this round after his 3-placement drop from round 1 to 2. Good news is, once you've had one bad run, you can always look forward to thinking, it's like, well, that's probably my worst run of the day, and that's fine. Sit the bad out early. Okay, props, Virus.
They
confirmed.
They weren't actually slugs. They're terra firma.
Yeah, that one rolls off the tongue. You're right. Oh, it's actually one of 5 spots, not 5. Okay, so like one of the first 4 spots, an 80% chance on Dracula Duck. Angel Undead looking to be one of the first to finish here with this Dracula Duck fight. Nice finish. Got a trade on the last hit, and he got the good old task bat there. Good stuff. He's like at the very, very top. Yeah, that's tough to time. It's always so cool when you get it. Yeah, great finish there from Angel Undead. Imagine that person will be moving on to the next round. Of course they will. Spiro looking to finish here. Neocat and Sideswipe both working their way to our final boss. Yeah, it's really unfortunate what happened to Jack Pro. Like, I mean, you can be the best runner of anything, but if your computer decides today is not the day, like, there's very little one can do about that. Especially in the heat of the moment, when things are already rolling and all that good stuff. Nice 2-hitter there from Sideswipe on Dracula Duck. All the way to the right for the last pattern. That's never fun. Got the hit, though. Sideswipe be looking to finish up. Neocad making his way to Dracula Duck. Ooh, don't think he got that second hit. That's unfortunate. So when you're going for the hit on Dracula Duck, the best thing you can do is do what's I believe referred to, I always just call it like a short hop pogo off the ground into Dracula Duck to make sure you get the hit once his active frames spawn. Another thing I'd forgotten about until Neocad just exhibited it there. At any point in the game, if you have, I forget exactly how much money it is, but I think it's 3 million. If you have 3 million, you can press select, you get a full health refill. And in races, sometimes that matters. Ooh, that's the first time I've ever seen someone slip off the rope. But good finish from Neocad. Being that person is showing as the last active participant, I waited there's a chance they're not going to be making it to the next round, but we'll get the results here momentarily. we'll see what happens. This is really what happened with Jack Pro is really going to affect how the next round plays out. We're honestly not sure if. Take a look. Looks like the runners are discussing it now, how they want to proceed. Not sure if we're going to let Jack Pro back in and maybe do like a solo run. There's also the chance that there might be a restart. As unfortunate as it kind of is for the other 6 runners, a restart is arguably the best option here, especially if everyone wants to be truly competitive. Like, you got to make sure the best person wins and all that great stuff. Besides, no one wants to win by technical difficulties. It's just lame. See, at this point I'd wager it's either going to be a solo run from Jack Pro or a restart of round 3 altogether. But we'll get confirmation from our organizers here soon. Once again, appreciate y'all hanging out with us today. This has been a great tournament so far, and it's only going to get better. Had a lot of upsets up to this point. Our number 1 seed went out in the first round after back-to-back deaths on the Amazon stage. So as Ants pointed out multiple times already, but just remember, anything can happen in these tournaments, and that's one of the things that makes them so exciting.
For sure. Okay, it looks like all our runners are kind and understanding people. We're going to be rerunning that 3rd round here. Hopefully,
Okay.
Jack Pro's computer will behave.
We got a mulligan. Legit. That is definitely a thing. We're gonna we're basically just getting a bonus round today for our tournament du jour, which basically just means hope y'all like DuckTales. So outside of Jack Pro's finish, looks like we got the rest of the runners showing there. In fact, I believe this is the best from the previous round following the knockouts. Yeah, this is just a rerun of the last round, but it looks like, no, there's some difference in standings here. Spirit, sorry, I'm backtracking a little bit. This is actually the best overall. Like, it's showing the best runs of each given person today, with Jack Pro having the best run in place, beating Spiral out by only 1/10 of a second. With the average being 5 seconds up after finishing in round 2 with a 7:41. Simmer down and watch. Good advice. Okay. Those are other runners going. I very much enjoy what I've seen out of our runners so far today. Everybody is just playing to the absolute best of their ability, and it's just such a breath of fresh air and a joy to watch. Great stuff for sure. Looks like in terms of the overall averages, we've got Angel Undead at the very top of the heap with an average of 733. And given that they had 733.6 as their best with an average of 733.8, that's pretty consistent. So that means their worst time so far has been a 734. So I'd argue that overall, Angel Undead up to this point has been the most consistent runner, which is pretty awesome. Also, shout outs to and props to our art crew for putting together these amazing layouts. Like, I would never think to have like this stellar looking layout of being able to like just check the standings and Of course, now we also have the bottom there showing what soundtrack is playing. Like our art crew is too efficient at what they do. We don't deserve them, but we have them and we're lucky.
It's our tech crew, always working tirelessly to ensure things run as smooth as possible.
Bust that hump. Yeah, good point. The top 2 times so far today are also only within a tenth of a second of each other. I think that got mentioned earlier, but it sounds like something I would have said, but I don't recall specifically saying it. But yeah, tenth of a second is an eternity in speedrun. For short optimized NES speedruns, yes, I don't disagree. So I guess the threshold now is who's going to get the first sub 730 based on the timing. So the first 72X is be the real push right now. Be exciting to see when that happen. I don't think the thing is I mean, if chat wants to vote just to have their opinion heard, that's totally cool, but I think the decision has already been made. They're just going to do a full rerun of round 3 and pretend the last attempt at round 3 just didn't happen. So, y'all get a rerun, and you'll get to see your favorite racers run again, so hope y'all enjoy yourselves while this round 3 restart kicks off here in just a few moments. Alright, looks like we're underway. Angel Undead kicking off with the moon here. Pretty solid progression to the right, like always. So funny how DuckTales, at its core, is in a lot of ways what's considered a go right and fight kind of game, but very quickly determined that it is not. Missed the first try at moon skip, but got it on the 3rd try for the easy setup. Doesn't have much health left though, so Angel Undead getting a bad rat fight here would be not the best of circumstances, but getting rat fight damageless, as I recall, is not too difficult. Great fight there. Perfectly damageless. Predicted. Jack Crow did not get first attempt at moon skip, but got the second attempt. Spiril and Joseph both making their way as well. Top 4 runners based on averages, looking really good at this point. Huh. Not sure if this is intentional or not, but Angel Undead going to Transylvania, that may be a new one. That may be a strat that I'm just not at all familiar with. As far as I know, the difference between going to Transylvania versus Amazon first doesn't make a big difference. Maybe Angel Undead press down when he thought he shouldn't have. I really don't know, but either way, playing through some Transylvania. Maybe it's a momentum exercise. Earliest Magica fight I've ever seen for this run. Out there. Got the high pattern for the second one, but she landed quickly, so got to recover pretty well. Got the mid hit there, good stuff. Solid fight despite the unlucky second cycle. Nice stuff there from Angel. We got our other players working their way through Amazon. Nice B bounce there from Spiriel. Never want to take that plant hit, and it's even worse to take 2. Yikes. Nice 8 boost there. Nice, perfect chest there. That's actually fairly difficult to be able to get. The idea is when you bounce off the ledge that leads up to the vine, you have to bounce off a chest that spawns there based on your positioning. And being able to do that all in one fell swoop, really have to understand how the game's sprite placement works for that to go in your favor as often as you want it to. It's a valid practice to strat to practice, because Freudian today, but it's still a good one. It's one I always enjoy watching work out well. Angel Undead onto working his way through. I had to take the short chest. That's the safe strat though. Just let it appear and then jump up. Don't necessarily Pogo, because missing Pogos does cost a little bit of time. Of course, getting all Pogos that you need there is optimal. Like, you want to be able to do that. Ooh. Interesting. Took the hit, but got a trade out of it. Didn't look like it would have been a trade either, but managed to bounce right back with a hit. Joseph and Neocad working their way to Magica. Joseph starts right off with a high spawn. Neocad a little bit luckier with the mid. Joseph with a second high spawn. Still getting some good DPS here, though. Yeah, for getting 2 high spawns in a row, that was very well played. Oh, and Neo takes a death on Magica. Not like this. Yeah, Neocad cannot be too happy about that. That's always a really unfortunate thing to have happen. Magica, very unforgiving if your execution is even a little bit off. Had solid RNG, just a couple of mid spawns, but managed to get it working at first, but then it just became one too many trades. You can technically take more hits than any boss, but you gotta remember their entire body is a hitbox, whereas for you, just the stick is a hitbox, so they're gonna have a much easier time hitting you than vice versa. Neocad taking care of Magica there. Angel Undead looking to finish off the slug fight. Getting the hits right at the start of the cycle, that's interesting. I guess it's not the faster strat, but it's definitely the more consistent strat. You can just stay in place and get those hits as needed. I'm always for consistency myself. Fortunate there from Joseph. Got hit in the first cycle. Angel Undead now powering through the Himalayas.
Really impressed with Angel Undead's consistency, like you said.
Yeah.
Just every round, just really pulling off the execution very well.
Yeah, his as of today, as of right now, Angel Undead's best time is only a fifth of a second below his average. So yeah, the consistency of Angel Undead today is very real. For sure. Sideswipe making the way to the Himalayas. It's always interesting to see the different color palettes between players. Because, like, even using 2 different CRTs can produce, like, those different effects of blue. But then, like, Sideswipe, who has the emulator going, like, it just looks... It's, like, almost like a robin's egg, you know? Super blue sky. Alright, Angel Undead clearing the way through the Himalayas. Sideswipe taking the slower strat through the spider, but despite the fact that it's slower, it is a tad bit safer. Essentially what you want to do in most cases is just staircase your way down into the ice cave, slipping past the spider, but if you do it improperly, you can actually take a hit and or fall, and falling is just... I mean, I've lost a couple runs to that. You don't want to do it. Or you don't want it. Well, I shouldn't say you don't want to do it, because that's a misnomer. You don't want to have it happen. That's a better way to put it. And not
JKL playing it a little risky there, but managed to eke out the victory against the Yeti.
Yeah, good stuff. The Yeti can be a very dangerous fight if your execution's even slightly off. It's an easy fight at its core, but whew, you don't want to goof it. Angel Undead, first visibly showing a Dracula Duck fight. Gets 2 hits in the first cycle. Very good. That's what you want. Very, very nice bat boost there, too. Just great stuff here from Angel Undead. And gets the first frame hit there, too. Doesn't quite get the bat boost at the end, so that's only the only real misstep here in this fight, but it's still going to be a clean finish. Not hard to race Magica to the top. She's so much slower than a rope, and who would have thought that? Wings being slower than just climbing with your hands. Video games are weird. Oof, Joseph not having the easiest time for a Dracula Duck, but still okay. That was actually a 2-hit cycle, so that was good. Spirial not going to get the bat boost for the last hit. Jack Pro, I think, missing it as well. They'll both be able to finish. Joseph coming in right on Spirial's heels. Jack Pro not far behind. And props to Jack Pro's PC for gutting it out this round. GG to all of our finishes so far. JKL also just finishing. I guess this really comes down to Sideswipe and Neocad for who's going to get knocked out. Neocad definitely has the lead here, already on the Dracula Duck fight. Missed the last hit of the last cycle, but barring any major missteps there, should be a clean one. And Neocad's going to be able, barring anything crazy like falling off the rope, should be able to finish from here. So with a good enough rope climb, Sideswipe will be eliminated this round. GG to all of our players for this round, as well as the rest of the day. Great run from Sideswipe too, but it happens. Right, yeah, it looks like with the run back, Sideswipe is taking the L there. Angel Undead with another very consistent finish. In fact, I think that I almost wanted to say that was Angel Undead's worst finish today, but I don't think that's quite accurate. But still, 731s at the very top, only a half second apart for top time is incredibly good. Angel Undead and Spiral both moving their positions up here. Joseph and Jack Pro still holding very strong with sub 740s that round, and JKL right after that with a sub 750, and Neocad finishing with the only 8. But even clawing and scratching, Neocad is still in this tournament and still has just as much of a chance of winning as any of the other 5 players. We'll see how that pans out. Great stuff.
Of course, thanks to all our runners for being understanding of Jack Pro's computer. I mean, we've all been there. But be sure to give Sideswipe 009 a follow as well. As Terrific Tracy and Hyrex and fantastic runners, all deserve your love.
Absolutely. I think there's a chance that might be one of the better rounds of the day, just because having to do a mulligan and a full replay of a round, I think that's really good for driving up competition even further, because they got to show their stuff, and now they have to show they're better than this person that could have been knocked out if technical difficulties ruled otherwise. Yeah, great stuff there from everybody. Everybody just really killed it that round. 4 sub 740s in the top 4 placements. Great stuff. Congrats up to this point, everybody. Y'all are putting in that work. And our next round, for I believe the second time today, I think it's the second time today, we've got Angel Undead in the top seed space. Showcasing that person first and foremost, and so far, based on, we haven't seen the average times yet, but I'm going to predict that that person still has the best average of all of their times up to this point, and seeing that level of consistency in top place is bound to happen after a few rounds. Because you know how it is, if somebody gets a rough time of it in their first round, and takes in a game like this, takes like a low 8 or something, but then comes back and just gets all these great 7s, by the end of it, it still shows they're putting in a good showing.
Yeah,
even if they may not have the best average.
It's always going to be tight, especially with a game this short and this optimized. Everyone's going to have a pretty decent time. We thank all our runners for joining us, and it's just a true joy to be able to see everything that they've got put into the runs today. So absolutely love running these events, and having all these runners be a part of it is just great.
It's a great way to spend a Saturday. Like, imagine being able to watch this growing up instead of Saturday morning cartoons. Would have been a tough call. But I'm probably watching this.
In addition to.
Yeah. That's how tabs work now. Just have one TV on one thing, one TV on the other.
Yeah.
Like Jack Pro's visually the first player getting to the rat fight. Had a really solid moon skip at the start of the stage. Gets the cheese. Ooh, Angel Undead missing the first hit there at moon skip, so has to get a retry. This does end up costing a lot of time if they can't get it, but they got the second attempt. Also going for the emergency health. I know there's detractors on that, but at tournament time, like especially for a knockout tournament, you kind of have to respect it. You don't want to be taking a death on the mouse. With some bad RNG, like damage can and will happen. So I always respect the safety hustle. It's a hard decision to make.
Scrooge deserves a little ice cream as a treat. Why not?
Oh, of course. Heck, now I want some ice cream. Darn it. Alright, so on to Amazon here. Jack Pro with the excellent skip there. Okay, so I guess that's a consistent thing for Angel Undead. Angel just prefers to go to Transylvania second as opposed to Amazon. Oh yeah, it's Contra being brought up. We did have a knockout tournament for Contra, another great NES speedrun to have for an event like that. Very fast, very execution heavy, really comes down to skill. Very little RNG, high determining RNG factors outside of like JJ. I think JJ's the one really big one. Yeah, another good choice for sure. Alright, Angel getting some pretty good Magicka patterns here. Ooh, didn't get the hit on the mid-flight though. Yo, nice. That last hit on Magicka was super good. Bounced right to the top and caught her on the way up after missing that her previous hit. Nice Sentinel fight there from Spirial as well. Really used the iframes to the advantage. Good Amazon finish there from Joseph. Jack Pro and NeoCAD now both making their way through Transylvania. Joseph just kicking it off himself. JKL looks to be streaming from his own stream, so apologies for what's being shown here, but some of that stuff happens. Ah, caught right in the middle of the magic fight. Okay. Good mid-range fight there. Got the low. Took the hit initially, but managed to get the rebound hit. Didn't lose too much time there. Great fight overall. NeoCAD having a bit of a rough time. This is just so disheartening. Like, adapting to Magicka's high flight patterns, when it comes to, like, races and things of this nature, it's one of the single-handedly hardest things to adapt to, and it's kind of frustrating. Only a little bit, because most of the time you're watching it happen, you're just thinking to yourself, really? Like, why game, why kind of thing.
Super frustrating not being able to control that, and just whoever figures out some sort of RNG manipulation like they did for Chippendale, they're going to be a hero of the DuckTales community.
Oh, absolutely. Watch it be something really crazy, like select normal, reset, select easy. Now we get the RNG we want. So for those of you DuckTales runners who want to optimize that, there's a place to start. JKL making his way to the slug fight. I know it's not a slug, but I'll hand it off to Ant Hole for remembering that term, because I know I'm not going to.
Terrafermian.
Terrafermian, sure. Terra being like
terra firma. Because they live in the ground.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what the root of the term firma was, but I know terra in Latin basically means of the earth. So yeah, story checks out. Maybe they're just firm. That's how I'm supposed to remember that. Find a mnemonic device somewhere. For some reason, I always love watching the fall in Himalayas, like where you fall down something like 4 floors just to get back to the very bottom where the ice cave is. I'm like, this is the most unnecessary level design ever, but it's so much fun to watch, especially with the music that goes along with it. It's so jovial and happy-go-lucky and great. Looks like Jack Pro is going to be our first player visually to make it to the Yeti fight. Didn't get the stand slide. Run invalid. We can all go home now. Oh wait, I am. Decent damage boost. And only a couple slight misses there, but Still a good Yeti fight overall for Jack Pro. JKL. Oh, ho, ho, ho. I was just getting ready to say how the fight was going, and as soon as, before I could even get my thought out, JKL took the death, and now back at the beginning to had to go back through Himalayas. That's gonna put JKL in a really tough spot here.
Yeah, the Himalayas, the just everything about that stage. If you take a death, because it is so short. If you take a death, it's very unforgiving.
That and there are necessary damage boosts, unless you're going for like the really safe stuff, like the climb up the rope with the blue ice ball. Like you're practically required to take damage there. So you don't really get to go into the fight with much of a health buffer. And looks like we got Jack Pro's going to be the first person to make it to Dracula Duck. Spirial and Joseph not too far behind, and Angel Undead looks to be just starting Transylvania. I guess it's Transylvania 3. It's the only stage you have to go to multiple times, and not only do you have to go twice, you have to go 3 times. So the term literally means earth and dirt. Interesting.
Yeah, Firma is like hard. Like, so it's, hard land, ground.
Yeah.
Because, like, Terra could be anything from the earth.
Yeah. Usually refers to, like, rock formations, but yeah, can be a number of things. No task bet for Joseph, but Spirial gets to finish out, so not too long after Jack Pro. So that's going to be our top 2 for this round. Joseph not far behind. GG to all of our runners up to this point. All of our runners so far getting a sub 8. Angel Undead may also have a sub 8. It's hard to keep track of the timer because visually not everyone starts at the same time, and that can come down to a number of things, stream buffering and Jack Pro proves my point. Looks like we've got JKL and NeoCad vying for the last spot, and even though JKL did have that unfortunate death in the Yeti, it looks like NeoCad, even up to the point where Dracula Duck has been defeated by JKL, NeoCad's even made it out of the Himalayas, so had to be a fairly tough run for that runner up to this point. So it looks like with JKL taking the chest there, NeoCad will be eliminated this round. GG to all of our runners as always, but of course we'll give for those NeoCad fans out there, we will be giving him the chance to go ahead and finish it up. He's only got one more stage left, so.
Yes, absolutely. GG to all.
I thought I was out, but I'm not out.
Yeah. NeoCad, thank you very much for joining us. Be sure to give everyone a follow, as always.
Yeah, great round 4. Yeah, there's the motivation you need. Black's just pushing on it. Okay, looks like our round 5 is going to be underway here shortly. All of our top 4 runners showing the moon selected, so they are clearly ready to go. Jack Pro being the first player visually, able to kick us off here for the moon stage. See how the moon skip goes here. Be able to show where moon skip's at for that person before any other players even get to it. Misses the first attempt, but then gets the easy hit into it. So second attempt does cost a couple seconds of time, but still better than the alternative of just having to like lose the Robo-Duck and being able to spawn back and whatnot. Never want to have that happen, but it happens. Especially, but at this stage of the game, like I don't think players are going to get away with it that much more. Good rat fight from Jack Pro. Angel Undead getting his own moon skip. Stereo getting it first try. Joseph getting it first try. The players, I'm going to go get on some lunch. These players are hungry. Ooh, missed that last hit on the rat to lose about a second and a half or so there from Angel Undead, but still looking good. Spy and Joseph finishing right around the same time. Jack Pro currently working way through Amazon. Goes for the damage boost, not the pogo boost off the B. I feel like I've never actually seen anyone do the damage boost prior to today, so I don't know how much time it saves. But I know the pogo saves like 0.2 seconds, I want to say. But taking the damage boost, that I'm not sure about. Probably a little bit less time, but still worthwhile.
It's hell skipped by Jack Pro there.
Yeah, for sure. Jack Pro will play in this round. He's, I would wager Jack Pro's taking exception to the fact that Spirial finished last round with the time to tie as Jack's PB, so definitely out to play. Spy and Joseph also right at hell skip, but they opt for the B boost instead. Nice backup stress there. Angel Undead. For those that haven't caught at this point, Angel Undead appears to be the only player who is opting to go to Transylvania second as opposed to Amazon, which is the much more common route. Could be just a momentum reason. It definitely costs a couple of frames in terms of menuing because you actually have to menu to go to Transylvania as opposed to just autopiloting and match A to go to the Amazon after you finish the moon. So it's an interesting strat, and I'd love to know the reasons why they choose to go that way first. But outside of like momentum and things like that, just psychology, can't imagine there's any specific reason, but I could be wrong. No boost taken there from Angel Undead on the ladder in the Amazon. Spirial and Joseph neck and neck going into our Transylvania stage here. Spirial only probably about 2 seconds ahead over here. And of course, depending on how their Magicka fights go, that gap can be closed very, very quickly. Joseph maybe ahead 3 seconds after. Oof, Angel Undead missing the pogo off the hidden chest. That's always unfortunate. That execution window is kind of tight if you're not buffering it properly. Looks like they may have let go of B by mistake, possibly. It's a very common thing to have happen. Just less so at this level of play. Oh no. That was a rough go with Sentinel there. And just like I said, Spirial having some rough times with Magicka compared to what Joseph had. Joseph slipping right ahead there. Great stuff. Yeah, and I figured just quote like the idea of getting the Magicka fight out of the way is valid. It's interesting to see in tournaments because going to Amazon first does actually save frames. It doesn't save many frames, but it does save frames. But as far as why you do that in tournament, it has to be just because muscle memory, I'm sure.
Yeah, undoubtedly. And, especially in a tournament, you're not really looking to save frames too much. That's more for top RTA. But at the same time, the people who, are running this game on a regular basis, they probably do also have that muscle memory to get to um, Amazon before Transylvania. I could totally understand Angel Undead wanting to have that magical fight out of the way so that you don't have to worry too much about it. Even in RTA, unless you're going for top time, like a couple frames here and there, it's not going to make or break a PB if you don't have like a top 3 time necessarily.
That is definitely true. There's other factors. There's always other factors to consider as well. It could, like I said, when it comes down to muscle memory, I mean, you're not gonna play. No players are gonna play Amazon and Transylvania the exact same way. So playing through Transylvania could just be like, oh, I know to do this and this and this and this at this point of the run. Like, it's just all memorization. If you memorize going to that stage next, then yeah, like it's completely legit, whatever the reason. Everybody has their style. That's why some people play Chip and others play Dale. In before, who's the better chipmunk? And JKL having a Yeti of a time here. Nice fight. Personally, I think any Yeti fight that doesn't feature a death is nice. Angel Undead getting those small frame windows for those hits. Great stuff. Woo-hoo. Now, that was probably about as perfect as you're going to get of a Yeti fight. Excellent stuff there. And do be sure to check out our upcoming events. I know we've got the TurboGrafx 16 event called the Turbo Fest 2021 coming up here very, very soon. TurboGrafx, forever one of the most underappreciated consoles, retro consoles specifically. I'm going to love being able to see all those games showcased throughout that day.
Yeah, that's going to be great. Excellent weekend.
Honestly, when it comes to the library that's available, and I particularly mean this in terms of speedrunning, the TurboGrafx might be the fastest overall 16-bit system. There's some fast Genesis runs, but as much as I love the Super NES, finding fast runs on that console is a challenge. Like, I think the most popular is probably SMW for 11 exit. Like, I mean, there's the Ace ending, but like, that's just the thing. But yeah, as far as 11 exit goes, probably about the shortest you're gonna find. When you get runs like that are super popular, like Links to the Past and Super Metroid, which still take an immense amount of time compared to the most common runs you're gonna see on like the NES. And then yeah, for the TurboGrafx, you've got really short arcade ports like Vigilante and Legend of Hero Tanma. Ninja Spirit, run by RGL's own Bald Nate, among others. Alright, here comes the climb. JKL's stream looks to be buffering, so unfortunately we're not going to see the progress of that person, but Angel Undead nabbing the chest, followed by Spirial and Joseph. GG to all of those runners. Jack Pro having a bit of a freeze moment as well. But it looks like the final place is in contention between JKL and Jack Pro. Let's go ahead and head on over to the race channel to see how that's panning out. Let's see. Oh. All right, looks like Jack Pro unfortunately was knocked out that round. We didn't get to quite see what the placement was looking like for either player at the end because through our RTMP, JKL and Jack Pro streams both froze, but we did get valid finish times, and that's what we have to go by. So unfortunately, we didn't get to see the end of their particular runs, which means we didn't get to see how close it was. So obvious apologies there, but unfortunately stuff does happen. No one feels bad about it, and therefore they should not. But that'll move on our next players. JKL, who recall up to this point was very much convinced he was out, manages to eke out into 4th place, finishing only 9 seconds behind Angel Undead, and Jack Pro, very competitive player who, despite having PC difficulties in round 3 did manage to stick around and advance another 2 rounds, so GG to that person. And congrats to our top 4 runners up to this point. So we're on to the final 4. Still kind of a bummer after Jack Pro finished in 2nd place in that round, but must have just had a bit of a rough go of it for round 5. But it's knockout tournaments, it happens. Big ol' good luck and have fun to Spy, Joseph, Angel, and JKL from here. Oh, that was a PB, JKL. Nice, congrats. Always nice to PB in a race. You just don't get to see it happen often. Russian support showing out today. Thanks to all for being here, in addition to everybody else sitting around enjoying the show.
You're welcome.
That you got me. Discathlon, the first Discathlon was January 2018, so 3.5 years ago. Yeah, God, it's been that long. Oi. There are times I forget I've been streaming that long.
I've been streaming since, I think, 2015, 2016.
2016.
Been a long time, especially when you consider the decade that 2020 was.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, I agree. The
Looks
entire
like here
decade.
we go. Getting ready.
Off we go for our top 4 runners. Now, from here on out, there will be no other runners that are being slotted into being shown on screen because this is our final 4. So, from this point on, what you see is what you get. You're going to see the most competitive runners running at their most competitive pace, their most competitive fury. So, let's get going. JKL showing the first sign of visuals here. Other runners probably just have a little bit of stream lag, which it happens. JKL opting for the very easy moon skip, only slightly slower, does cost a few seconds, but it's very consistent. As long as you get Roboduck across the chasm properly, it's pretty simple. Still requires practice, mind you, but I learned it in like 5 minutes. Surely anyone else can. Oh, really nice mouse fight here from JKL until that 4th hit attempt. Unfortunately, took a hit there. Good moon finish there from JKL. Spy having a heck of a time with Roboduck here, trying to get to the old moon skip. That's gonna be a fairly sizable chunk. Managed to miss getting Roboduck across the chasm, and then had to come back and lure him in again, which took another couple of attempts. So Spy looking to be. I obviously can't see where they overall based on the visuals, but. Based on what we saw there, Spy looking to be a bit behind, despite being our top runner still remaining. Such as knockout tournaments, but of course it's still early in the run. We're only about a minute in, and anything can happen at this point. Anyone can have a bad Magicka fight, they could take a death on the Yeti. Lots of variables at play here. Someone can miss Hella Skip. JKL opts to not have Hella Skip. That's legitimately one of the scariest things in the game. When you get the helicopter rope and don't get the skip and then the bee flies right at you, like you have to hope that the damage boost will be able to allow you to use directional influence to move back to the rope ladder. It's kind of scary. It's really, really scary. Angel moving on to the Magicka fight here, gets a low pattern and then a mid pattern. Good first damage boost, but unfortunate bit there in the end. Solid fight overall, though. JKL looks to be visually the first to settle, but do remember JKL's game feed did start about a good 10 to 15 seconds before the rest of our players minimum. Well, that was a great Sentinel fight. We don't know where the players are overall. still wager to say that with Spirial having that rough go of the moon, Spirial's probably not in first place because of that, but stranger things have happened. Yeah, Joseph looking very, very strong for sure.
Absolutely.
Sometimes players get stronger as the day goes on. They only need that. Some players only need to barely survive the early going and just to be able to make sure that they can really look strong at the end. That's why I know this is definitely not that, but that's why double elimination tournaments are so fun to watch. Someone gets put in losers right away and they fight their way back through. By the time they get to losers finals or even grand finals, their conditioning is on point because they've been playing like twice as many games as everybody else. Same philosophy here. Get the bad out of the way, get the good in when it matters. Good Magica fight there for JKL. Let's see how Joseph fares. Gets a mid-flight pattern, very good. And immediately gets another hit, another mid-flight pattern. And a Spy starting off with a high. Gets a mid immediately following that though, so that's a good rebound. Oh, and then gets the high at the end. Oh, got the hit. Didn't get the second hit though. Yeah, that's always gross. And Spy looks to be having a bit of a rough go of it this round. Between missing moon skip initially and now having pretty rough luck on that Magica fight. It's a rough go of it, but most of our players now working their way through the mines. Burial's gonna be the last one to obtain the key. Right now it looks like, if I had to guess, I would wager that either Joseph or Angel Undead is in the lead. JKL's game feed has him further ahead than anybody, but his game feed started, as mentioned before, a fair amount earlier than earlier three players, so probably got to dock a good 10 to 15 seconds from their placement in time. Still an excellent race so far for this round. Round 6 has been... It's gotten pretty wild for sure. JKL taking down, going after Terra Firma here. Nice fight. Missed a couple of the optimal cycles, but can't let that hold you down. Still got all 5 hits when they counted.
Yeah, the next couple of races are just going to be very, very tight, and execution is going to be everything.
Yeah. By this point, if you come this far, you gotta play. You don't have any choice but to just play your butt off. do it to it, and all that, all those Nike slogan sayings. Through the Himalayas. I'd wager that at this point, it probably looks like Angel Undead is most likely in the lead. Sparrow being this far behind Himalayas is, for this race in particular, unfortunately true to form. Between the Magica fight and the Moonskip attempts. That said, with anything barring like a really bad Count Duckula fight, anything's possible at this point. Yeti deaths are always a thing. JKL having a really good Yeti fight there. Angel Undead getting those frame perfect pogo hits. Great stuff there. Joseph also having a good Yeti fight, so we can probably take that out of the equation. Yeah, those fights in particular from Angel Undead and Joseph were just spectacular, so excellent stuff there. Okay, so now other players making it back to Transylvania for their fated encounter with Dracula Duck. I am actually curious who's in the lead between Spy and JKL at this point, because it's looking very likely that one of those two players are going to be eliminated this round. But with the time difference of JKL's visual game feed starting earlier, it's hard to tell who's actually ahead and who's not. We'll find out soon enough. Also, I did not know those mummies could drop food. I just this second learned that. Who knew mummies liked ice cream? That's something you're familiar with? That's something you're familiar with? Just making sure you get those safety food drops. Yeah, feel it. Solid.
I played this game a lot as a kid and walked around and explored because obviously I didn't know No routing.
I wanted to walk around more myself, but I always ended up usually just dying. Everything in this game hits you so hard. All right, good finish there from JKL. Probably a bit behind our other players, but again, we'll have to check the standings officially. Angel Undead and Joseph both with very strong finishes, so GG to those players. Spy coming in not far up the rear. Let's go take a look at the official standings. From what I can see here in just a moment, we'll get the actual official standings here shortly from our tech crew. Shouts to the tech crew once again. All right, looks like per that round, Spirial did actually I don't believe those times are quite correct. Though JKL did take the knockout. The final times look to be Joseph finishing in first with a 7:25, which is an excellent time. Angel Undead coming in second with a 7:29. Spirial with a 7:30, almost a 7:31, and then JKL with a 7:43, which almost beat the JKL's PB for the day. So GG to that person. But once again, great job. Great job to our runners. And yeah, appreciate it, Spy. Yeah, for some reason the timings aren't showing there. I'll just post this directly from our race channel. Those are the actual standings for this round. Of course, these standings show just the wildness of how knockout tournaments work. The person with the second best overall run today, even up to this round, was knocked out in the previous round. Not the one that just finished, but the one before that. So yeah, literally anything can happen. Yeah, I mentioned that one. I was like, man, Spy had a rough hit on the moon with the delayed moon skip, and then Magic has started acting up. I was like, yeah, it's gonna take something, but managed to eke it out in third place. You still got next round to stay in the game. Should be looking like a really good last couple races we've got here. Good luck to all of our remaining players, those being Spy and Joseph and Angel Undead. And be sure to show all the love you've got to our runners today. Be sure to give them all your follows. Give them all your support. They're playing their butts off today. Serve all the good we have to provide. Hey, appreciate the speedy recovery shots once again to the tech crew. Hey, it's a demon dance. Give it up for the demon dance.
Give it up. Not a shout out to the Demon Dance. You are
Always
dropping the
shouts to the Demon
ball, El Terra.
Hey, thanks there for the raid, JKL, bringing it over from your own stream. We appreciate that.
Thank you, JKL, and thank you for joining us, of course. Give JKL a follow.
A heck of an NES speedrunner themselves. Yeah, good duck, have fun. That's a good one. I like that. Yeah, That's still the best duck emote. I don't care who knows it. One day we will find out what DOSA stands for, but that day is not today.
I will put it in my will that you are not allowed to ever know what it stands for.
That's where I figured that was going. I was like, okay, so in the will it's going to stay only this person is allowed to know. Must be a secret kept to the grave. Hey, GG for sure, JKL. You put in a heck of a performance today. As have all of our runners. Stuck it out past both our first and our fourth seeds going into today. Right now, all that's left is our second, third, and fifth seeds. It's been one heck of a day. So much demon dance. All the demons are dancing. How can you not love it? All right. Top 3 getting underway. Oh, looks like Angel already beat everybody. GG. Already got that first place finish. Big congrats. Oh, they reset. Never mind. My bad. So props to the lovely pink decor on the curtain through that emulator feed. Kinda love it. Okay, visually we got Angel Undead underway first, so good luck to all our runners from here, and as I'll echo what Edhol said the previous round. From this point on, it's really just going to come down to who's the hungriest and who's the best of the best. We're going to have a knockdown drag out for these players, going for the hardest, most difficult strats that they can. Angel Undead proving that right away by getting the fastest moon skip. Sphero coming in not long behind that, but Joseph missed the first attempt and that despawned a Robo-Duck sadly, so we'll have to give it another go. So looks like they're already behind. Had to get the second attempt at the second attempt. That was more like the fourth or fifth attempt. Doesn't go for the emergency health either. Playing with some dice, it seems. But still manages to have a really good rat fight. Not a single hit of damage. Oh, Angel Undead didn't get Webby skip. Oh no. Hope enemy gets to see that. By making their way across Amazon, of course. How do people find these glitches? That's the story of speedrunning, honestly. Like, a lot of speedrunning to me isn't so much about how fast someone can go. Obviously it is, hence the name, but the bigger showcase of it for me has always just been, like, what kind of crazy stuff can people find in games, and the truth of the matter is, some of the founders of a lot of these strats don't even run the games. They just find the strats. It happens a lot more than you'd think. Like, someone who could just be messing with a game one day will find something, but they don't speedrun it because they prefer not to. But then the information will pass along to someone who does run the game, and then it gets incorporated, and then it gets optimized over the course of time, and that's just how it works out. That is speedrunning in a nutshell, and I don't think there's anywhere more prominent for that philosophy than in NES speedrunning. The most competitive form of speedrunning for a reason. At least top to bottom across the console. You can argue specific games all you want, but yeah, NES takes the cake when it comes to like the multitude of games that people are willing to put time into and perfect and all that good jazz. I disagree. N64 has 2 games. NES has many. It just depends on how you look at it, though. I'm talking about the actual multitude of the library. Like, it can be argued that, like, okay, for Super Mario 64, there's well over 1,000 runners in the game. Totally legit. But, well, I don't think there are any games on the NES that have reached those numbers yet. Super Mario Brothers, maybe, but I don't think it's quite gotten there. You've also got a lot of people who will run a specific game that'll run a bunch of other games. You got I'll use this game as an example. You got someone like Indy who is a top runner of this game. Chippendale has had the world records in games like Give Me a Penguin and Batman. And, you know, like there's just so much versatility to it. Whereas for those games that have that many runners, you're usually only going to see those players play that game, and that's totally fine. Like, they make their name off one game, absolutely legit. But I think for the wider variety of what's available, Nintendo still is top of the class. Back in 1990. I love it. I love it. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good. I know on the YouTube VOD, this is not going to show in chat, but we got some shoutouts from our own Anthole for learning the bat boost in Castlevania 2 as far back as the early 90s, which it's just phenomenal. It's so good.
This little damage boost to get to the platform.
Oh, Castlevania 2. What a speedrun.
No, not Castlevania 2.
Oh,
I've never played
Castlevania Stage 2. Castlevania Stage 2. Okay, yeah, my bad. I read that as Castlevania 2. Sorry, yeah. Bat Boost in Stage 2 is legit.
I have never played Castlevania 2 ever.
And you call yourself a retro gamer. Actually, I've not played it either. I'm not one to talk.
And you call yourself a retro gamer.
Yeah. Clearly we're both frauds. We've admitted that. But we're still commentating this tournament, which is, this round has, at this point, I mean, the rest of the runners are just so good, and they're so on pace with each other that I'm willing to talk about anything while I watch and see how it goes. Only be able to feel like I'm talking about the real nail-biting moments. Like, if someone takes a death, you know I'm popping off about it. Angel Undead, the first visually to get to the Yeti fight, having a really good one here. Spiral, only slightly worse fight, but still very, very good. Uh-oh.
JKL, if I have like 3 weeks of free time, I'll look into that.
And I know how busy you are, and even I don't have 3 weeks of free time. Ain't nobody catching up with that. Simon's Quest, Black Sheep of Castlevania, depends on who you ask. Some people say games like Symphony of the Night are the black sheep because they're not considered classic Castlevanias, and to some people they, like, quote-unquote ruin the franchise. Again, depends on who you ask. I personally love Symphony of the Night. I think all the speedrun categories are tremendous. Oh god, yeah, let's focus on this. Spirial. I think Angel Undead's slightly ahead, though, because that person's game feed did start first, so I'd wager he's a good 5 to 6 seconds in the lead. But they're definitely looking to be 1 and 2 right now, in some order. Joseph may need some bad luck for the other players to be able to stay in, but even if this is Joseph's swan song, they had a hell of a run today. Hell of a run of runs, so to speak. Bouncy, bouncy. Spy and Angel both looking to finish. Joseph finishing off the Dracula Duck fight. GG to our players. Let's see if we can check the official results. And yeah, just as predicted, with our final time, Spirial finishing with a 7:23, another phenomenal tournament time. And I think that's the person's second best time today. I think it's their second best. Best is still 7:15, but Angel Undead not far behind that with a 7:31, and then Joseph H pulling in at the end with a 7:39. Still an incredible time, but unfortunately that is going to be the tournament road for Joseph. So be sure to give that person your follow. Put on a heck of a show today, lasting through That's 7 rounds of gameplay. And still in the last round to go out with a sub 740, like you can't ask for a better day. Like that's an incredible time to come in last. Like that, like ponder that. Like I couldn't get that in a tournament ever. I mean, I'm not saying I'm good at this game. At the same time, like this game is merciless if you're not ready for it. So to have a 739 to close out an elimination, great stuff. That's gonna come down to for sure. That's going to come down to our 8th round and the finale between Spirial and Angel Undead. Going into today, they were our 2nd and 5th seeds, respectively, with a PB difference of only 2 seconds. Don't quite recall what Angel Undead's best time so far is today. I believe it's a sub 730. I want to say it's maybe like a 723, 724. But Spirial still, in terms of top time, the king of the hill with a 715. Only 2 seconds behind their own PB. And, of course, there is the chance that could all change. Angel could pop in with his own PB. and of course, being the DuckTales is DuckTales, could also just flat out win the race. Would be amazing to see. Hey, welcome back. Heck of a race today. Yeah, don't you love to see that? Those Cinderella type events? It's like made it in at the buzzer and now they're in the finals. Feels good. Feels real good. Day so far. Trying to calm down going into this final round. This is going to be a doozy for sure. And as always, we greatly appreciate you joining us all today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here at RGL. This awesome tournament that's been going on. Props again, as always, to our tech crew, to our art crew. And I interrupted Anhole, and I apologize. What were you saying?
Absolutely.
Legit. I mean, hey, I'm not trying to keep people from talking here. Just because I talk a lot doesn't mean other people can't. Yeah, it looks like we got our final 2 about to get started. Gonna be a doozy for sure. Very much looking forward to this. All right, off we go. There's really not much else to say at this point. It's our final 2 runners of one heck of a knockout tournament, so good luck. We got Angel Undead visually kicking us off here. So we'll make their way through the moon. These are a couple of great stories we've got today. We've got Angel Undead, who was a last-minute entry coming in, making the finals, as previously mentioned. Also gets the not the first try moon skip because they missed Robo-Duck at the beginning, but managed to get it on the rebound. And then Spirial got its second attempt, which is the easier attempt. Anyway, yeah, we've got Angel Undead, who is a literal last-minute entry. And then we've got Spirial, who is the second seed going in today, has the best overall time for today's event at 7:15. So it's very clear that both these players have their story to finish, and they want to make sure it goes out on a good page. Nice finishes there. And being that Angel Undead's feed did start a little bit earlier, it is going to be tough to tell who's going to be in the lead here. Let's see if we can find out.
Yeah, there's about an 8-second difference between the runs. So
right, as soon as you said that,
mind.
that's when I saw our tech crew mention that. So shout out to Virus. So about 8 seconds. Let's see how that pans out, and we're also going to keep an eye on our race channel. See how that's going to look.
Just keep that in mind as we get to the finish here, because it probably will be less than 8 seconds between these two runners,
Very
barring
good point.
any kind of insane craziness.
I mean, it's a knockout tournament. There's supposed to be insane craziness.
Absolutely.
Things work.
That's how it works.
All right.
Shoutouts to things.
Another cool thing about this finale, we've got two players who take entirely different routes, with Spirial going with the more common Amazon second route, but Angel Undead opting to go to Transylvania second to get the Magica fight out of the way, which is, as I mentioned before, is completely legit. The Magica fight is, from a speedrun standpoint, probably the hardest thing in the game just because it's so random. Good execution only matters so much in an incident like that. Now working their way through Amazon as well. Spy will be making his way onto the old I almost said Himalayas, the old Transylvania. They both end with A. My B. Nice hella skip from Angel on there. Goodness gracious. That was super strong. I think we'll get a slightly better idea of where the standings are following this stage, because they're both going to start the mine at the same point during the route. Up and away. See how Spy's Magica fight pans out. It'd be really good. But really not. Gets high first. That could be the determining factor. Got one hit. Got the second hit on the fall. Got a mid-flight. Safe route there, but still took the hit. Unfortunate. Alright, so let's check the start of the mines. I'm checking the timer. 3:40 is about when Angel Undead started. And then Spy starts at 3:51, so that's a difference of 11 seconds, which means that given the start time, the visual start difference, Angel Undead looking to be ahead by about 3 seconds, and that is a really solid lead. But as mentioned, being that this is for all the marbles, literally anything can happen. I would wager that what it came down to for Spy was that Magica fight. He got some terrible luck there at the beginning, especially with the first high pattern only getting a single hit, whereas with a good pattern you're getting like 3 hits by the time you got one. That's DuckTales for you.
That is DuckTales.
The ultimate race decider. Those are like some of the best race games to me. I mean, people smack talk RNG all they want, and it's legit. RNG is a pain, but the upside of RNG is that it makes for really exciting race games. Oh, Spirial taking a second hit on the second cycle of the Terra Firma. That's not good. That's really not good. Himalaya start at 5:01. Let's see about where our difference is from here. On that timer specifically, of course. And then for Spy's going to start at 5:17. So 16-second difference. So probably an actual legit lead of about 8 seconds now. So this is definitely Angel Undead's game to lose, or tournament to lose. That one was a bit rough. Really well executed stage from Spy, but unfortunately they did have that miss the second cycle for a slow fight. And missing a hit in that Terra Firma fight is pretty devastating. You can lose anywhere from 5 to 6 seconds just from that. It's a good amount of time. So we'll probably be focusing from here on Angel Undead to see if there's any major mistakes. But barring any major mistakes, this is looking to be the crown. Nearly perfect Yeti fight too.
That
Mirror was
consistency
just-
again.
Yeah. Called that after like what, round 2, I think. Actually, no, it was between round 3 and the mulligan of round 3 is when that was first brought up. It's the real deal right now. Alright, last stage. Mild miss of a jump there from Angel Undead, but that shouldn't cost too much time. Maybe a second if that. I always go for the swag through that corridor. Like, I pogo bounce through the wall. Just, I don't know if it costs time, but it makes me feel happy. Get to hear the pogo noise, which is somewhat therapeutic. Alright, moment of truth. Angel has a good Dracula Duck fight, or Angel does not have a good Dracula Duck fight. 2 hits in the first cycle without taking a hit is about the best start you can ask for. Got the far right pattern there though, so a bit rough, but got 2 hits in the second cycle, and got the perfect hit right at the start on last cycle, so really here it just comes down to the rope climb. And checking in on our race box. Looks like our players coming close to finishing. That'll finish off Angel Undead with a time of 7:30, so GG and congrats on the tournament win. Real's gonna come in about a little bit under 8 seconds behind with a 7:38.4 to Angel Undead's 7:30.7. GG to all of our runners today, and a big congrats to our top 2 finishers. And yeah, I'm not tooting my own horn or anything, but Angel Undead's consistency was praised and noted very early on in the event, and it completely held up. Played very tight and very well every single round, and it pulled off the victory.
Consistency and just across the board all day long. It was fantastic. Sperio also really well done. Just great tournament overall. Really enjoyed watching these runners. Everyone really played their hearts out. So a huge thank you to everyone for joining. It's a shame Herexon had yes. Shame Herexon had the little hiccup in the beginning with the Amazon deaths, but that's the nature of them. Oh, nuts. Nature of the knockouts.
Yeah, no joke. No joke. Hey, thank you, Spiro.